For the last 16 years, theories and misinformation have rampantly spread like wildfire throughout the Roblox community, surrounding the urban legend of a supposed hacker named 1x1x1x1, or 1x1 for short, with tons of old players being blamed for in-game exploits and other odd incidents on the website. Because of the obscurity of the origins of such a popular myth and the false information surrounding it, I thought it would be interesting to do a deep dive into what 1x1 was, how it started, and why Roblox has seemingly embraced it since then, with cameos in official events and toys released after a reimagined version of the classic avatar. 3 months after Roblox was officially released, former creative director John Shedletsky started the official Roblox blog, the new home of updates and announcements for the burgeoning platform. In the first post, written on the 6th of December, Shedletsky included a short quote from a fictional story titled The Chronicles of Roblox. "In the beginning, there was an empty darkness. The only thing in this void was a black brick, 2x2. 2x2 was the alpha brick, the first. Copied, pasted, and recolored a million times. Robloxia was built out of nothing from the images of 2x2. These were the early days." Though this wasn't built upon much afterward, this will become important later. By this point, the Roblox community was tiny, although it was growing at an accelerating pace. In fact, the entry directly following Welcome was a post congratulating 10,000 registered Roblox players. Fast forward to May 2007 and the Roblox community's size has since doubled. At the time, a user named NIGH was a top developer. Not only was he the wealthiest player as of the summer of 2007, but he owned 2 of the most popular games on the platform later that year, the latter of which became the first to ever garner 1 million visits. To keep it brief, NIGH created a game that popularized what many consider to be the first Roblox myth, with 2 now terminated alt accounts registered on the 27th. At the time, there were stories floating around surrounding players like Robloxian Kid in popular games like Crossroads that claimed to be the spirits of dead Roblox players. On the Robloxian Immortal account, NIGH had created a game called Torture Chamber, which would rapidly add wipeouts and deaths to your profile stats with spooky images and messages, which stirred up a large amount of controversy on the forums. If you want to learn more about the spirit phenomenon, how the Chamber game worked, and the Robloxian spirit killers clan that formed afterward, I made a video about the creepypasta surrounding it in 2021, but the main reason I'm bringing the spirit accounts up is because of the avatar. The default noob avatar with its body colors replaced by green, black, and white, as well as a giant Roblox icon plastered on the t-shirt. This avatar is something to keep in mind. On the 19th of October 2007, former administrator Mr. Doombringer elaborated on the short bit of lore Shedletsky included in his 2006 blog post Welcome, with his own entry on the blog titled Chronicles of Roblox Part 1. 5 days later, a Roblox staff member uploads a new hat in the book series called the Necrobloxicon. Its design consists of a primarily black book with dark gray pages. The hat's description was heavily inspired by the Chronicles of Roblox Part 1 blog post, and this is the very start of the 1x1 character. "And there came into this world a great darkness, a being of pure hatred with the name of 1x1x1x1, or in later ages, simply the Adversary. 1x1x1x1 is entity from the 4th dimension who loathes Robloxia for its 3D-ness and has vowed to destroy it. 1x1x1x1 was imprisoned by 2x2 at the dawn of time, yet there are those who seek to free him." This addition to the then growing but soon to be abandoned lore was an interesting point of discussion for forum users. The next morning, Shedletsky created a new alt account to reserve the username 1x1x1x1, with an avatar that was clearly based on the almost entirely forgotten spirit creepypasta from a few months prior. Confirming this, the t-shirt being worn here is titled RSK shirt, referring to the Robloxian spirit killers mentioned earlier. Shedletsky never did anything with the account besides changing the avatar, which rules out the test account theory, and we only know it was him because exploiters were able to determine that the email connected to it was his old business email. The Necrobloxicon's description definitely left an impact on the Roblox community. As for the next few weeks, discussion and conversation surrounding the 1x1 character lingered among the site, whether it was in the form of forum posts or creations. Weirdly enough, at the start of October 2008, the Necrobloxicon's description was reset and changed to a much shorter bio for an unknown reason. 1x1. Now what they'd done is plant the seed for the urban legend and silently take back what was the only source of the myth, only leaving it up to more speculation and mystery going forward. On the 29th of November 2008, a new user named 1x1 with 5 X's flooded the forums with cryptic posts about 1x1 coming back to Roblox. The version of the 1x1 myth they explain here was strikingly similar to the hacker stories we know it for today, though with the interesting added detail of protecting yourself from 1x1 by wearing the Necrobloxicon, which I haven't seen included in any iterations of the myth since. These posts captured the attention of some active forum users, most notably Weaselman50. Though the 1x1 account with 5 X's was banned rather quickly, copycat accounts appeared spouting similar nonsense within the next few days. Everything would change on the 15th of December when the Roblox user Army Troner uploaded a YouTube video with the title 1x1x1x1 hacking. This video contains the first recorded instance of 1x1 centric exploits being executed in a Roblox server. Throughout the recording, a server of JoshJosh117's game King of the Hill becomes increasingly further and further destroyed, as all of the map's pieces slowly change colors. In the leaderboard, we can even see the name of a player who wasn't truly there, 1x1x1x1. In the chat, we can see messages coming from Roblox admins who, additionally, weren't in the game that day, including Reese McBlocks. By the time the video ends, the game was completely unplayable. Within the following days, more reports of similar occurrences in games like Gamer3D's Dark Plateau and Shedletsky's Crossroads would be reported by players on the forums, though with no consistent or concrete source of who was behind it. It turns out that the user Weaselman50 we'd seen earlier was using an unknown program to not only insert his own scripts into public game servers, but additionally tamper with the leaderboard and chat system, creating the false guise that other users were in the server when they weren't, or sending messages in the chat. The exact 1x1 script he used here was preserved through the version history of one of his uncopylocked games. In this footage, I'm playing on a server affected by a version of the script from January 16th, 2009. The script starts with an on-screen message with a countdown, with the text "Security Breach Advertisement Here" surrounding it. When the countdown reaches 0, a loop of the first minute of Rick Astley's Never Gonna Give You Up starts playing, as all of the game's parts start rapidly flashing colors. Messages are inserted into the affected parts, displaying a variety of cryptic sentences, including 1x1x1 is coming, the end is nigh, heed my warning, and of course, all hail Weaselman50. The place's parts would all slowly fly towards the center of the map until the game's map becomes an untraversable void. Inside the script, there's nothing about creating fake players in the leaderboard or fake messages in the chat, meaning this part of the exploit, along with the process of inserting the script itself into public servers, had to have been done with an external cheat program. In later versions of Weaselman50's 1x1 script, all players in the server would be sent to a white void at the end of the countdown, turning the game unplayable in a quieter, far less flashy way. Starting on the 16th of January 2009, the Roblox forums would be flooded with talk about 1x1, who was supposedly ruining all the games on the front page. To both prove he was a part of it and report it to Roblox staff, Weaselman50 uploaded 29 versions and variations of the 1x1 script to his place throughout the next day or two. 2 days later, a shared throwaway account called The Spammers would upload 15 virus-filled free models to the toolbox. They secretly contained scripts that would infect your game, destroying them in a variety of strange ways and purposefully amplifying the fear-mongering surrounding 1x1. The script inside hid itself under a class invisible to the Roblox studio as soon as the game starts, giving this list of players powerful admin commands in affected games, duplicating into nearly every part in the game, and forcing players to endure one of 6 random chaotic 1x1 related events every 3 minutes. Over the next year, 1,000 free models were affected by the script and thousands of games were additionally infected. Weaselman50 tried to debunk the 1x1 hacker stories through a forum post, claiming they started with him and 3 other unnamed users testing a Roblox vulnerability, only using the 1x1 name because the reactions were funny. The vulnerability was soon patched, with Weaselman50's script even being temporarily blacklisted, though this didn't alleviate the spread of the rumors. At this point, any Roblox player with a pulse was being blamed for anything 1x1 related. Work at a pizza place creator Dude1 was an early target, as he'd recently been under fire for creating an anti-lag script with poorly obfuscated code that gave him and his friends admin commands in games that used it, completely unrelated from 1x1. On May 25th, 2010, the original 1x1 account from 2007 would come online after being compromised at about 6 PM Universal Time. Within the next hour, its name was reset to request followed by a long string of numbers after the hacker emailed Roblox support, and the user Macapaka3 would take the 1x1x1x1 username with a new account at 7:30 PM. The password was leaked on Twitter and shared around the forums, and by 8:45 PM the account was already banned. This was 3 years before the username changing system was implemented, and only a select few accounts from this early on were able to pull off name swaps like this. And at some point in the last year, a similar method was used to change the name to Roblox user followed by its ID. For years, people spread the rumor that the second 1x1 account was a testing account created by Shedletsky, though this is proven false by how quickly the account was banned and the way that it was created and its name was stolen from another account. While the first account with the 1x1 name really was Shedletsky's, it also wasn't used for testing purposes as some people claim, as almost nothing was done to it besides the fact that it once had a spirit avatar. In an attempt to shut down the rumors, Mr. Doombringer wrote a forum post in 2011 claiming to explain the truth behind 1x1, and the story of how the security vulnerability seen earlier was reported. They most likely used the program Fiddler, as there were multiple variations of exploits circulating dealing with modifying requests from the Roblox client with Fiddler to do all sorts of things in public servers, most of which being patched within months. Admins thought the way the exploit was used was hilarious and it was patched, but players still kept spreading rumors about 1x1. The detail about the raining heads that he includes here was interesting to me because none of the scripts Weaselman50 created explicitly did that. This was likely just a misremembering based on other things the exploit did in game. In recent years, Roblox and its community have embraced the 1x1 urban legend, from official merchandise and appearances in events, to his inclusion in tons of popular games nowadays as an official character. As Roblox grew into the monolith that it is today, what started out as a myth surrounding a hat's original description, exploits, and game-wrecking free models, turned into an iconic figure within the community. With the years of misinformation surrounding 1x1, I hope this video makes the myth's origin story much clearer. If anything new is discovered about this topic that I didn't mention here, it'll be added to the pinned comment below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.